What's up, everybody? This is Jared with Heat Press Nation, and you're watching or listening to Customizing Culture, the Heat Press Nation podcast. Today, I have a very, very special guest. I'm here with Mae. She's the founder of Merch by Mae and Graphic Tee Academy. Mae, thank you so much for coming out. You're here in person.
I am here in person.
Oh my gosh.
We're so excited.
That must have been a long walk from Cincinnati.
It was a pretty long walk. It was. Made it in a record time.
Nice, yeah. Nice. I feel like such an old guy saying that, because you know how, I don't know if it's ever happened, you had an old guy say, "Oh wow, you came from California. Your arms must be tired."
Be really tired. Yeah, exactly.
So that's my old guy. I think as because I'm a dad now, I just
you find yourself in the middle of a dad joke and you're like, how'd that happen? Right?
Where did it come from?
yeah, it happens. Those moments too.
So thank you for being understanding of my dad situation.
I am.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself for the people who may not know?
Okay. So my name's Mae. And I am the founder of Merch by Mae, which is where we create branded merch for business owners to help them kind of stand out in the crowd. So everybody always knows how to find them, you know, what it is that they do, and you know, they know who they are. No question. Nice. Okay, Merch by Mae. I'm also the founder of Graphic Tee Academy, and that's where I help others learn how to get started with their own graphic apparel businesses and grow those. So it's a family business that we have. My kids and I, we started like out of our home, and then we've grown that now. We have a warehouse, and we have our products in stores all over the country.
I absolutely love your story. So just so everybody knows. So before, when we were kind of in the planning, I guess, research phase of the podcast, because I like to get to know people before they come on. And so it was really cool because actually, Mae invited me to be a part of Graphic Tee Academy, and we'll probably talk more about that a little bit later. But then she shared her story with me, or I keep talking to them. No, I'm talking to you. And then you shared your story with me, and I was just absolutely blown away. First of all, I love your story. Like, I was there, had a little tear coming out.
Yeah.
But then also I'm like, dang, this girl is making it freaking work.
Yeah.
Like, talk about like overcoming obstacle after obstacle after obstacle and still like standing in the end. So I was super inspired hearing your story. And so if you don't mind, can you kind of just share origin story of Merch by Mae, Graphic Tee? Oh, I know Graphic Tee Academy came a little bit later.
It did.
Could you kind of just start us off like
I can.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, I'm a single mom of 3, and I knew for a long time, I was like, I've got to figure out something to do online, right? We're from a pretty small rural type community. And I was like, I know if I can get to doing something online, it can just give us the money that we need. It can change our life. But you know, like as a single mom, I was always like, but it's got to be the right thing. It's got to be just perfect, because I already don't have enough time, right? I'm not going to, I was happy to work, but I didn't want to waste my time on something that I wasn't sure of. So I don't know. So I spent a lot of time Googling, is it too late to do this? Is it too late to do that? You know, is this a good thing to do online? And somewhere along the way, we fell into shirts. And really it happened because I didn't have any money for inventory, but I knew, we knew how to make a mock-up. We knew how to take a design and make a mock-up. And that's really where the T-shirts really started, is that we were close to major T-shirt suppliers. And, my daughter, she has a background in design and art, and I used to screen print about 1 million years ago. So that's where it started. We were like, okay, what can we do with what we have?
Yes.
And we can make a mock-up, we can sell a shirt, and then we can go to a supplier, buy the shirt, and make it. And we started.
So literally print on demand. As the orders came in, then you go.
Literally, yeah. And I would say, make sure that you have a high tolerance, like a high threshold tolerance for stress, if you want to do it that way. Yeah. At least make sure, I think for most people, you'd want to at least make sure you have some blank T-shirts in the house, right? But at that time, we just couldn't. We just didn't even have the money to risk even buying a blank shirt.
Yeah.
So,
jeez.
I know.
So talk about like shoestring budget.
Yeah.
And so what did you get? You got started off with a heat press, screen?
We actually started with screen printing. And I
didn't
even understand that you could use a heat press and do all the things that you did. Like, I don't know why. I look at it now and I'm like, how did that not dawn on me? But I just didn't know. And
sorry to interrupt. What year is this?
2018.
Oh, so it's pretty recent.
It's pretty recent. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the end of 2018. The end of 2018. So this all happened like super fast.
Yeah.
And we And so at that point, my daughter was in a graphic program at a vocational school, and she was volunteering there. She had graduated and she was volunteering, and she had access to screen printing equipment that she could use. So we would make the mock-ups, and she would make screens there. And
at school,
and then after school, because she was volunteering, she was working there. After school, she could, she could print if we needed to, one or two, and then there was this huge snowstorm, right? And there was no access, and we had sold shirts. Remember, we weren't buying the shirts until they were sold. So the shirts were sold, and there was this snowstorm. School was closed like almost 3 weeks, and there was it was insane.
And she couldn't access
we couldn't access anything, and we didn't have anything. Yeah. And then she's going, okay. And that's when I realized, that's when I learned that screen printing presses were thousands of dollars.
Yes, they are. And they're huge too.
And they're huge. And I'm like, what are we going to do? And I don't know. I just had this feeling. And then I'm like, okay, but look, I found one on Amazon. She's like, no, that won't work. We can't do that. We have too many colors. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, we'll never get that put together. I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. And I found a place about an hour and a half from us that sold new presses, but someone had kind of given them a used tabletop that was all bent up, and they sold us that for $200. And we brought that tabletop home in the middle of the winter and drilled it. Logan, my oldest, drilled it to this table that we had, and we put it in our living room because it was too cold.
Oh, yeah.
We had it in our living room. And so that was our first print shop, our living room. We turned our house into a print shop. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And Isabel had been saving up money for a car, and she bought a flash with that. We bought a flash, and we bought that used press, and that's where we started.
Wow.
I know, that's kind of crazy, incredible. Right?
And it all just kind of built up from there. So now how did the business change once you were able, because I mean, obviously the benefit is now you're in-house. Yeah. So she's not was she still having to go to school for anything?
She was still volunteering there. Mm-hmm. So she was volunteering as a teacher aide. So then what happened is, okay, so now we have the press. So now we burn screens there. We burn screens at school. We bring them home and we print, right? And then the next step was we found this used dinosaur exposure unit, from the same place, probably from 1972. It was huge. And then we would just print films. She would print films at school.
Okay.
And then we would expose the screens at home. And we had to do this. And
so it's little by little.
Little by little. But it happened. We just started growing like super, super fast. And it was really the idea of connecting with people on social media or individual people was really overwhelming for me. I didn't have a background in that. And I'm like, I don't want to put my face out there. I didn't want to do any of that. But I felt comfortable connecting with businesses. Yeah. And that's where we started. And that's where we just really started taking off, is we would even go to local businesses and say, like, hey, here's our designs. We printed them out on not on notebook paper. We printed them out on printer paper, mock-ups, and said, hey, here's our designs, and we will print logo shirts for you if you will carry our designs too. And that's how we started. And we were like, we'll give you a local special deal.
So kind of as as a tip for the people. Because honestly, this podcast, I love it. I love talking to you. I love talking to all of our guests. But really, it is for the people. So to kind of give some tips on that, like what kind of businesses, if you don't mind sharing a little secrets?
Absolutely not. Okay. I'd love to.
What kind of businesses were you approaching with this? Is it like, because I see your shirt, it's very cool, very on trend. So are you going to like, I don't know, like I don't know if you guys have PacSun out there, or like, it's like, because to me, I would think out here in Southern California, I would hit up the skate shops first, because a lot of them are still independent. Little merch shops like that. Like what kind of businesses were you hitting up?
Okay, well, first off, absolutely, everybody, skate shop, you need to go. Like, we don't have skate shops in Cincinnati, right? Well, not a ton.
Wait, really?
In Ohio. Okay, well, I'm in a little town a little north of there.
I forget we're in Southern California. It's the home of skateboarding. Okay.
Yeah, so absolutely, anybody that's surfing or skating or go immediately and sell them some shirts. But let's say you're in the Midwest, or you're not somewhere where something like where a hobby or something. And if you are somewhere, maybe you're in the mountains, anywhere that does hiking, camping, outdoors stuff, fishing, like anywhere that there are people that have a hobby they love, they will spend money on things.
That is such good advice.
Right? Yeah. Isn't that great? But let's say you're like, I don't know, or they're too big, and how do I talk to a big place? Which you can go into that. But little places too, and you can, like, we would go to boutiques, right? Because boutiques, you know what? They want to make their own shirts, But I promise you, they found the same thing that we found, which is why we had a press in our living room, which is people wanted us to do huge minimums. Like I learned quickly, people wouldn't print for us. I left that out of the story. I had a few people tell me that what I wanted to do couldn't be done, and I went, "Oh, okay."
Really? What were their minimums?
Well,
or?
it was like 100. Like they were like, "You need to do 100 shirts. You need to do 150." Or if they were willing to do 40 or 50, they wanted so much money. I'm like, I'm trying to sell these.
Yeah, there's no room for margin on that.
There's no room for margin.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? That means there are other people that also cannot get a quality shirt and sell it. So that's what we offered. So we offered that to boutiques, but also, dog groomers. Like their people love dogs, right? So think about that. And then one of our, this is so funny, but independent pharmacies, like drugstores. I don't know why, but they love to carry merch and shirts.
Really?
And okay. Isn't that funny? Anything.
Dude, I'm eating all this up, man. Like,
and salons too, like beauty shops.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Okay, that makes sense because out here, a few of my barber friends, like they see that I have my own T-shirts, and they're like, "Hey, how much to make me some T-shirts?" And then I'm like, "How many you want?" And so I guess for me it'd be the barbers, but yeah. I don't frequent the beauty salons, so I wouldn't know. But.
Right. No. But you've got it. But for something like that, so another tip. Here's another tip. Okay, get ready. So here's another tip. You could take something like, let's say you feel really comfortable talking to someone that is a dog groomer. You feel really comfortable talking with people that do like beauty salons or something. You could come up with a really catchy phrase that really makes sense, right? And you could maybe order a bunch of transfers for just that and then offer just a few phrases that are, like wear a cut above the rest or whatever, something that's cute, right, for a salon.
I love that.
And then you can always offer to do some personalization, like on the sleeve.
That's
like
cool.
Get really small transfers that you could do on the back, the nape and neck, or do on the sleeve. So then, if that makes sense, so you can customize without a lot of issues. So.
Dude, I love that. So you guys are growing one small business at a time, just like boom, boom, just building it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of footwork. Like, just were you talking to them in person? Are you emailing them?
So we did it old school, like just door to door at first.
Oh, okay.
And then we also started selling our own designs on wholesale platforms.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you were a brand.
A brand. And so we did a lot. I know, a lot of people say, don't do that. They say, focus on one thing. And I'm like, well, they're all shirts. So that is one thing, right?
They're all shirts and they're all making you money.
So we had our brand that we would sell, on wholesale platforms, and our brand that we would also, offer those to businesses while we're offering them their custom stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just really just tackling it all.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
Crazy fast.
Yeah. So talk about that, because you're in a warehouse, which is like, you say, oh yeah, we're a small family business. We have a warehouse. And I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. You're supposed to be in a garage if you're a small family business.
I know.
So talk about that growth.
I don't even know where to start with the growth.
Okay, maybe that's too far ahead. Let's go back a little bit. You're in your living room.
Yes.
You're eventually, and I remember you were telling me off camera, getting into your story, that you're slowly taking over all the rooms in the house.
So when
what does that look like?
Oh my gosh! So when we were in the living room, we were in the living room. We started there, and then it was a couple months in, and then we actually moved. Right, so we moved to another house, and in that other house, we started in the garage. So we started there in the garage, and we were super excited. We were like, oh my gosh, we actually have a garage. There's a garage here. But then the boxes wouldn't fit in the garage, and the screens wouldn't fit in the garage. And so then we're like, okay, we have this other extra room over here, and we're packing stuff up in there. And then it wouldn't fit in there. And then literally in our living room, in our dining room, everywhere, there were just stacks of boxes of inventory and screens and ink. And it was a lot. When we first started this, and I thought, I want this to be our thing, right? Like, this is going to be like a legacy type business for our family. And I had essentially lost the job that I was doing. And as a single mom, that's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay in any situation, but it's
Yeah.
really not okay. And I remember my oldest looked at me and he was like, Mom, it's okay. He's like, we're all old now. Like, we're big.
Okay.
Like, we can all work. Like, it's fine. Like, let's just go for this all the way. And And Logan, my kids were already working, for the most part.
Okay.
And so we went for it. And so I thought to myself, okay, our first goal is let's try to make $5 a shirt, and let's try to get 100 shirts out a week.
And that's even on the $5 a shirt on the wholesale
side. Yeah, let's try to make $5 a shirt and get out 100 shirts a week, and then let's try to get out 200 shirts a week. And before I knew it, like we were sending out thousands of shirts a month.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was too fast. It was it was great, but and that's why our house looked like a print shop, because they were just like, and we would look, and I would go, are we just selling so many shirts so that we can buy more shirts? Like how many shirts do we do? And that's really what you do,
Yeah.
And,
that's funny.
Yeah.
What kind of days are you putting in there? We're talking like 10, 12 hours?
Oh, we're talking 14. Like we're talking just nonstop.
Just print, sleep, print again type deal?
Yeah.
Wow.
Print, don't sleep, print more.
Oh, don't
print.
sleep.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
don't sleep. Yeah.
Wow.
But again,
from the two, and I'm sure by that point, have you grown out of the $200?
We've grown out of the $200 press. Like we still have a manual press. So, and then but oh my gosh, we learned there were so many things we didn't know, right? So, a family member got a DTG, so we also had a DTG, and then we had another manual press. And
nice.
Then we were doing sublimation, and we were doing all these things, and then we started doing vinyl, like eco solvent, stickers and stuff, and I realized along the way, I was like, oh my gosh, we did this so fast. There was ways we could have done it and spent less.
Gotcha. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? Like what kind of, if you don't mind, what kind of expensive mistakes are you like, oh, if I could have just seen this one YouTube video, or if I would have just known this sooner, like, was there any situations like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So if there had been someone that I found and really trusted, that I was like, oh, okay, they really understand all the ins and outs of printing and stuff, I would have started with heat press.
Oh, okay.
And nothing else.
Really? Okay.
I think initially, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But then, okay, kind of going back though, you started out wholesaling and big stuff. Do you think you could still tackle that with just a heat press, or is it good that you did screen? Like, kind of looking, obviously hindsight's 20/20 now.
Okay, so I said I would start with just a heat press, but I love knowing all that I do about everything, and I do love the screen printing aspect. But you can wholesale even using a heat press.
Yeah, you can. You definitely can.
You can.
Yeah.
So, but once you're on that trajectory of that super fast growth, and we would get orders, and we would look at each other and be like, is this even real? Like, we would get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 orders, and we'd be like, we just didn't even understand, And so, but when you're moving and you don't have a good systems in place, and you've grown so fast, and people can be like, oh man, I wish I would grow fast like that, but you have a lot of waste. So where did we lose money? Is like there's waste. You make decisions really quickly, and then going into 2020, there's no inventory. So then you get scared because you're like, okay, now we have bills, because now we finally said, one night we said we either have to go slow down. It was 3:00 in the morning. You asked me how
when all the best decisions are made.
When all the best decisions are made. But it was 3:00 in the morning, and I'm printing, and I look at Isabel, and I'm like, we either have to we have to scale, or we have to go back. We either have to figure out how to get bigger and get some people to help us and have some space, or we have to stop doing this. Because we can't live this way anymore.
How many of you guys were working, and I say you guys, you and your children, how many of you, had you hired on additional employees at that point?
At that point, there were 2 other people coming to my home. So it was me and then my youngest 2, and Cash and Izzy, and then my mom. She was there all the time, and then we'd hired 2 other people that came to my house. We didn't have a house anymore. We had a print shop.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So you were living in a print shop.
We were living in a print shop. Yeah, we really were. And so that's when we decided to get the warehouse. But with the warehouse, there comes a lot of responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
And there comes a lot of extra expense, And so that's why I would say, don't hate small beginnings, and don't hate slow growth, because it gives you an opportunity to learn what you like best and make those good decisions,
I love it. Is there a piece of equipment that you have that you're like, maybe I shouldn't have bought that one?
I'm no good at this because I love all the things.
Okay. Oh, good. Then you're like me because
I just want it all.
I could find a good reason to use anything. Anything.
Same.
Yeah. So in your journey, you guys are growing. Things are coming at you really quick. So go down the list if you don't mind. You have screens. You have heat press. You have sublimation. Yes.
Yes, and DTG.
And DTG. Okay.
And then we also have a wide format, like a Roland.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is there anything in addition to that you were like, oh, I bought this and that was kind of, I should not have
done that. So the DTG, so we have an Epson 2100 and the direct to garment printer, and we have made it really work for us.
Okay.
And so that's great, but I don't. They're expensive.
Yes.
They're really expensive to run. They're expensive to maintain. You know, it costs $1,600 just to put ink in one of those suckers for the first time. You know, and like that's a lot. That's a lot. And they don't run. And I always think like with our screen printing press, if I can find this much ink in the world, like I can push out 20 shirts. You know what I mean? Like the only thing, if it like I am the power that runs it, right? I'm the power. And with the DTG, like if it breaks, someone has to come fix it. You know, and you need to run it every day. And I think sometimes they just get sold as this like be all fix all thing, and I think if you can buy an industrial one, if you like have a couple $100,000 laying around,
a couple $100,000,
like you know what, however, right. Let me get our whatever little jar of coins and see if it's there. But whatever like big direct to like print on demand companies use, I think probably they are a lot better, right? They can do a lot more, and they have that pre-treat built in. But we don't even pre-treat. Like people think we're crazy because we don't pre-treat shirts or sell like black shirts with them because we don't feel like they hold up. We don't like them as well. So we create vintage looking designs on our DTG and we print them on like natural.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because that's like all we'll use it for.
How does a wash hold up?
It washes pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. We do 100% cotton only.
I'm just going to tell you now, the comments are going to go crazy on that. I cannot wait to read the comments on what you just said.
And if you love them, do them. If you love them, do them. Okay. And I mean, like, and also, like, and here's a tip. A few places, like Sanmar has some really nice, ready to print, direct to garment shirts now. They're already pre-treated all over, and they work pretty great. And it's probably because we have our other options available too. So I don't try to dial in all the settings. But it's just like anything else, though.
Yeah, well,
you have to dial in the settings.
I love what you said a moment ago when you said that it's not the end all be all. And honestly, I cannot think of a single thing that is.
Nothing is.
Nothing is. Yeah.
And if you're following someone that tells you this is your answer for everything, don't follow them.
They're just trying to sell you something.
They're just trying to they're trying to sell you something.
I mean, I try to sell people things all the time, but I'm honest about it, you know?
Yeah. And I really want to educate people and for them to know so they can look at a design and say, oh, yes, I can make that. Or no, that is a better option over here. Like I turn away business because I say, hey, we don't do well with lots of white ink and multicolor designs on black because I know we don't pre-treat in DTG well in that way, right? If they want to order anyway, I would send them somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I just want people to know that there's not one solution.
Yeah. And I think it's really important. And I love that you're honest and transparent with your customers enough to be like, hey, I could do this really, really well. For this, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy because I turn away customers all the time because for my custom shirt business, so I've talked on this podcast, I've talked a lot about my t-shirt line, not a lot about my custom shirt business. So that the custom shirt business for me actually came first. And I was exclusively vinyl, like nothing else. Yeah, it is. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
So people would come to me, and I would turn away anything over 2 colors. I was like, hey, 1 color. Let's do this in a 1 color. You'll save money. No, I want 4 colors. Okay, well, I have a buddy here. And you know, Renee, if you're watching this, send me some lunch, man. I've sent a ton of business to my buddy Renee, who owns a screen print shop, not far from where I am. Cool dude. He actually used to work here. That's how we met.
Okay.
And then he left to start his own print shop, and he has screen embroidery, all that stuff. So I sent him everybody I don't feel like working with. I sent him to Renee. But yeah, so all my business, and they would be like, why don't you want my business? And I'd be like, no, trust me, I do, but I don't want you to be unhappy with something, and I don't want to work for under minimum wage because that was my big mistake early. is I would be like, they would ask me how much for this shirt. I'd be like, $12.
Yeah.
And then after I counted up my labor, I was like, man, I just paid myself $4.75 an hour for this job. Maybe.
That's pretty generous. I always like think, oh, when a friend is doing you a favor, so they're like, I just want to support you. So here's the one shirt that I want, and I'll pay you as much as $15 for it, and it's 87 colors, and here's a screenshot of the design. Here's a screenshot of the design, right? I'm only going to need you to redo that for me 12 times. But people just don't know.
With friends like that, who needs enemies, man?
But people just don't know. I see the pain on your face when you say my custom shirt line. That's another thing, is I want to help people know how custom can be profitable for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That these are the things you can do to help be profitable in custom, and it's okay to say no.
It is.
It's okay. And to have a pricing model so that you remove your emotion. You cannot have emotion about it, because so many of us, I feel like, especially makers, I don't know. I see this a lot with the people that I work with and teach. I don't know if we don't value the skill we have.
That's exactly what it is.
And when you can do something, you just don't feel like it's as special, maybe. It's like,
I
can't everybody do this?
Right.
And so then suddenly you are working for $4 or worse. You're freaking paying to work.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I was taking those jobs.
Yeah.
My dad.
You just don't give your value. You don't. Well, I mean, that is what it is.
Yeah. But so my parents are pastors, right? And then they're involved a lot with other church ministries and stuff. And they always get me in the heartstrings. And so initially they're like, because they don't know how much it costs.
Right.
I didn't know how much it costs. So can you do these for this event? Yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh. And they were happy to pay, but they're trusting me to know my stuff.
Right, exactly.
And since I didn't know anything, I ended up burning myself. So I playfully called them out, but really, it was just
on
me.
you.
Yeah,
right,
it was on
because
me.
You have to know. You have to know. And you can really find yourself in spots where you can be angry at a customer because but you can't be angry at the customer, right? So it's really important.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But by the way, that's a great fundraiser opportunity, local churches and stuff, and schools and things, and doing shirts for them. And
that's most of my business for my custom stuff. Yeah. So I no longer do mugs, but when I was doing mugs, it was almost entirely churches and nonprofits.
Awesome.
So yeah, really found my niche out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's cool.
That's cool.
Cool. So now going back to your journey, man, I gotta say I was so inspired hearing your story, because you just keep going, keep making it happen. Can you talk to us about if you're okay with it? You mentioned you're okay with it. Kind of talk to us about, you ran into some big tragedy, if we're being honest.
We did.
That you had to power through. Can you share that with us?
I can. So, and I'll just kind of do a timeline with it. So in 2019, again, in 2018 is sort of when this really started, because we were like, okay, we have to work with what we have, which is we can make mock-ups, right? Figure the shirt. And then in 2019, things really started ramping up, and I actually found someone online that I started, I became part of her program, and she taught about selling online. And before that, I wouldn't pay anybody because I'm like, everybody's a shyster, everybody's a thief, everybody just is trying to steal my money, and I'm not gonna do that. Yes. But this lady, she was pretty for real, and she had a conference in Utah. Her name's Allison Prince, but she had a conference, and someone that was a part of that group made it possible for me and my kids to fly out there. So that's me and Izzy and Cash, my youngest, and Logan, my oldest. We flew out there. That was the end of March 2019. And that's when we're like, okay, we're really going to go for it. We're going to come back and go for it. And it was awesome. And then about 30 days later, after that, Logan, we had just moved in to our new home, and we really felt like things were just on the up for us, right? We had just overcome so much, and we were in our home together, the four of us, and we had this business we were really going to put our heart into. And then we were there a day, and then on the way home from work that next day, Logan was actually in an accident and passed away.
I'm so sorry.
And thank you. And it'll be 4 years here in a few weeks. And so, we really, the three of us, Cash, Izzy, and I were like, you know what? And I remember I said this to them right away. I was like, you know, God is good and he is faithful and he loves Logan even more than we do. And he loves us more than we understand. And if we're here, let's do something good with it. You know, let's just do something. And really just like, and I think a lot of that is just that relationship that, I mean, just, I love Jesus really big. He's a cool dude, you know, he's a cool dude, you know, and like, like lots of grace for me. And you just, when you come from that place, like the four of us, we've been through so much. We've been through so much garbage together, and we really just felt like we were on the other side. But when you come through that, you're just close in a way that I can't explain. And then me being a single mom, and you always do what you have to do. I think at that point I was like, well, you know, Cash and Izzy need me. And I either know that God's got it or I don't, and I believe he does. So this sucks, but we're going to keep at it. And what I was so thankful for is just the 2 years prior to that, there had just been so many good things that had happened and so much closeness, and we'd gotten to take these amazing trips together, and we had just really been to a place spiritually, the four of us as a family, and just it was just really incredible. And I can see God in all of that, and what he did. And even those, it's weird and it's hard, and grief is a weird, hard thing. After I teach people about t-shirts, I got to teach everybody about grief. And not that I know any, I mean, I'm not qualified to teach anybody, but just, you know, we don't talk about that enough in this world, and it happens to everybody and nobody can talk about it, you know?
Yeah. I think you're so awesome for sharing your experience, sharing your story, because I know there's people out there who may find themselves in a tough situation where life, you said it, life sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to power through.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have no option but to keep going. And it sounds like that's where you were at. And I love how you're saying and how you're open about your faith. I know this is a Heat Press podcast.
Right.
I'm also a man of faith. And while I'm not, going to go out there and our viewers know I'm not always, this is not where I preach on Sundays at my church, not here on the podcast. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to deny it.
Right. Same.
My faith has played such a huge part in my life.
Same.
And even in my business, like even in my home, there's parts of me, there's parts of things that I couldn't have done without my faith. And I think it's important out there for any creator, whether they believe or not, like, hey, you have to realize there's things out there that's bigger than you.
Right.
There's so much out there that's bigger than you that you have to just understand, like, hey, take a step back. There's more to life than just your business. Yeah.
Than just right there. And I think when I look back on this past 4 years, and I think about a lot of the growth that happened really fast. Like, I think a lot of that was just fueled by my grit and determination. Yeah. And that's what I do. Like, oh, we're in the middle of this horrible, like, unbelievable thing. Like, okay, I'm just going to work, because being able to work together and be together and build this business that was as much a dream of Logan's as it is as the rest of ours. Okay, that is worth it, and if this is going to suck no matter what, I don't want to, whatever, I don't want to let the business go. And so, there were a lot of missteps that were made just as people that were in this, like, traumatic grief or whatever, and just like barreling 1,000 miles an hour ahead. But we just make it work. Yeah. Like you said, even like being here is just such a blessing. It's just really cool. And my faith is really important to me too, but I just want people to feel loved, right? And know they have hope. They, like, have a choice. They can start their own business too. They can do something with their family. They can, and oh my gosh, people are always talking about getting rich or buying yachts and stuff. Yeah. How about, like, take your kids on vacation?
What's so funny you say that? That's literally my goal this year. So everyone you're sick of hearing this song, guys. I know. My business sucks right now. And this is not my custom business. This is my t-shirt line. Okay. My brand, right?
Okay.
Garbage this year. Since the end of last year, right? Just done zero with it. Just let it. But I told my wife, after probably the third podcast that I recorded, I was like, man, I can't talk to these people and not get inspired to make some stuff happen.
Yes.
Like, and so all that to say, because you're saying take a vacation, I was like, okay, babe, look. I get it. I have a job. that I'm not trying to lose. I have a marriage and a baby that I'm also not trying to lose. But I think that I could do enough side work to take us to Hawaii. Like, I think I could do that. Because I was doing the math. I was like, okay, I need to sell this many shirts a month. I need to sell this many. I have this much time. And so in my head, I'm doing all the calculations, trying to be trying to build my house on the rock. And I'm like, hey, I think we could do it. And you know what? That's enough for me, for my side business. I know there's other people. Yes, make your millions, dude. If you, I'm happy going on vacation with my t-shirts.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some security there.
Yes.
Whether that's vacation or like I said, like keep the lights on, right? Or pay the light bill ahead or have like an extra just little fund there, right? If an emergency happens, you're okay.
Yes.
Like that's huge. Or to know that like you have this skill and you've started getting a little on the side that if something does happen with your job, you're not sitting there going, what do I do? You know, and even if your t-shirt business doesn't replace your job, it gives you a little cushion.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah, and again, we're going back to like, there's no end all t-shirt business model. Like some people, they might be seeing you like, that's it. I'm wholesaling. Like they're connecting with you at the core. Like, yes, this is my lady.
Yes.
I'm wholesaling. And other people might be saying, heat press is good enough for me. You know?
Yeah.
And I love that t-shirt businesses can be so many things to so many people.
They can.
That's one thing that really, when I started here at Heat Press Nation almost 7 years ago now, or this month it's 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I bought my press within like the first couple weeks. And
You probably saw it and you were like, this is a money-making machine.
Yes. Yeah. I was sold hook, line, and sinker,
Exactly.
man. I got my little Cameo 2 at the time.
Nice.
My heat press that I still have to this day. Cameo 2, it took a dive. I had it on a really tall shelf and it just...
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was tired of working, I think.
Yes,
I think it was just
done.
ready.
Oh, it was on the edge.
Yeah, it was ready
literally.
to end it all. So he said bye. Anyway, where was I going? See, that's just an example
That's
of my
a creative entrepreneur. Yeah. That's all that is. That's what we'll call it.
See, and that's
are we
my
talking about?
tangent.
Oh, t-shirts. And when you first got here in the business.
Yeah, so I first get here and I'm sold because I love how a t-shirt business can really just. And I'm not trying to oversell it. It can transform a life.
Oh, absolutely.
For the right person.
Yeah.
Not everybody should start a t-shirt business.
No.
But if you're the kind of person who it's going to work for, I think it can transform you. Even for me, a Hawaiian vacation would transform me right now. I'll tell you that.
Same. I like seriously. Everybody should work for the Hawaiian vacation before you work for a warehouse. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good advice. You heard it from me, guys.
Because I have to work harder now for the Hawaiian vacation because I have to because I've got this whole warehouse, right?
Gotcha.
And I love it and I wouldn't have it any other way. But it just, I think that's an important conversation to have. People need to think about what kind of business they want first. Like they need to say, okay, how much money do I want to make? So before they go listen to somebody that says, make your first 50 grand, make your million, say, what do they want? And then find the model that's going to get them there. Right?
Yeah. The model's going to keep you happy too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it can be so overwhelming. I think sometimes people don't start because they're overwhelmed. Like, oh, I got to do all this. And somebody said I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do all the things. And if you can just carve out a little time, right? Every day or every couple of days to do one thing and get it all the way done. The boring stuff nobody wants to do. Then at the end of that time, you've made something.
Yeah.
You've gotten started. But
I love it.
I'm sorry, we're probably at 4 hours now talking.
It's all good. So we've gone, and this is probably my fault. That's why you notice I haven't pulled out my notes, and obviously like it's showing because there we go. That's what I wanted to ask you. I haven't looked at my notes in a little while, which shows we're at 10 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
My fault. My bad.
So kind of coming back to your journey.
Okay.
You have the equipment, you have the warehouse. You guys are powering through. You're being troopers. You're committed, keeping the dream alive. And then I think where you and me are really alike is we like sharing with people. We like teaching, like educating. And so then tell me at what point in the journey Graphic Tee Academy comes around.
Okay, so I think I mentioned Allison Prince earlier, and she teaches people to sell online. And I was a part of her group, and she had me like on her podcast a couple times, or to come in and to talk with people about how to get started and to share my journey. So everybody in the group basically knew. So they were always asking, "Hey, what about this and what about that?" And I always was trying to help them and answer for them. And I was like, people really want to know. They really want to know this stuff. And then I would see people do things like they would go buy expensive equipment, or they would do all this stuff, and I'd be like, no, or even people would order from me, but really what they wanted to do was do it on their own, you know? And I was like, I really need to make this thing. So that was where, and so then it took me a long time after I decided I wanted to do it, but it took me about a year or so to put it together. And so I really started thinking about it in 2021 when I was like, this needs to be done. And then we launched like our first beta in July of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we've got like 160 people in there now. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is pretty amazing.
Very cool. And it's a private group, right?
Yes. Well, so what it is there's a actual course curriculum that is in Teachable. So people can go through and they have worksheets and they have videos from me, and it talks about how to start with basic design and all those type of things. And then there's also a Facebook group that is for anybody that paid to be in the course. And then that's where we do live trainings twice a week.
Very cool. That I was part of.
Yes,
that was super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, everybody loved that. They love it so much. And then that lives in our Facebook group, but it also lives in Teachable too. So new people when they come in, they can see the benefit of it.
That's so cool. I love it. Compare, and I hate comparing our babies, right? How do you feel delivering a shirt order and the customer's like, "Yeah, I dig it," and versus how do you feel when somebody says, "Oh, this course was amazing"? Like, what's the fulfillment level?
Oh, knowing that people, it's like changing their lives. Like they literally say in there, "Thank you for sharing. You are changing our life." And I'm like, okay.
Can't beat that.
Now I'm doing something great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Because, Logan, my gosh, that kid. And he'd always say, like, Mom, you never know. You never know when you're going to change somebody's life. He's like, so if you just got to go the extra, like, be extra kind or leave the bigger tip or give them what they need. He's like, because you don't know how much somebody may need that. And it may make a difference in them. So I feel like I'm honoring him in that, too. So
definitely.
Super cool. I love it. I love it so much. And
I'm like fighting
well,
back.
yeah, well,
I'm keeping my serious face on.
Well,
right now.
because what if some of this silly stuff that I know could help somebody like take their kids to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like what the heck? Like what are we even here for if we can't do that? Like that's cool, right? Sorry,
I love it.
I know, but I just love it. I love it
yes.
so much. I love it so much, and I'm super excited going into this like next season. Because I'm real behind the scenes. Like I know I'm here now and I'm talking like I didn't even have a profile picture on Facebook of my face until Graphic Tee Academy launched. I was like, I'm gonna have to put a picture of myself.
People got to know who you are.
Yeah, right. and so I don't really have this real developed social or socials or whatever. But
which to me, I gotta say that's pretty incredible because I feel like, and this is me, it's almost impossible now to launch something without a social presence. So just the fact that you built your business from your living room to your garage to a freaking warehouse without crazy social media presence, without doing that's the pipeline now. Like that's the pathway these days anyways.
Right.
And the fact you did it without that, I'm like, whoa, like that's incredible.
Well, thank you. And and one of our brands, like one of our actual brands has, it does have active social, but only in the last year has it really blown up social wise. But everything else from our custom and our wholesale and this now with Graphic Tee Academy and having 100, it's really just the results of putting those skills together. Connections. It's connections.
Yeah.
And then for 3 years, I was in Allison's group, helping people. So helping people is what has helped us succeed, right? Like caring about people and doing that. But so this year though, I'm super excited. Like I know like YouTube, I believe I can go there and just really share and want to share a lot of different tips and knowledge for everyone. And then really the big difference we'll see between YouTube or Graphic Tee Academy is with Graphic Tee Academy, you have that like direct contact, where you can just basically come in and ask questions and stuff.
Yeah. And that's really important because, and this is one thing that I miss. So pre-pandemic, we had a showroom here and I feel like like the people who call on the phone are much different from the people who would show up in our showroom.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the showroom was like, hey, and they're very open. Usually, most of them, hey, saw some videos, didn't quite get it. Can you show me?
Yeah.
And so there would be times I'd be spending 1-2 hours with and it would be funny because it wouldn't be just one, like I'd start with one customer and then by the time we're done talking, there's like 6 people around and they're like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. But there's something about like having a personal instruction, but then also like I feel like the information gets put a lot deeper when you're able to do like the personal one-on-one instruction too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, granted, there's a lot of people who can learn from YouTube. I'm half YouTube, half in person. So like I feel like that's how I like sometimes I could pick things up off YouTube. Sometimes I have to learn it in person or at least have somebody explain it to me.
I have changed my thoughts on that a lot. And I think I also mentioned earlier that I would never pay for anybody for instructions online because I thought they were crooks. Yeah. And I've realized that if I can find someone that I trust and I connect with and I relate to, and I have access to them and their content and they're sharing it with me in the way that it worked for them, that it saves me so much time. And I actually apply it. That I don't know, it's worth it, right? It's worth it, like you said. So, sure. And even if it's virtual. So like what we do is we do a lot of mindset work too.
Okay.
Because a lot.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A lot of it's like implementation. It's just like right now, I know I decided on the way out here that we're going to start book club. And nice. Atomic Habits is going to be the first book that we're going to work through.
Ooh, that sounds cool. Which one's that one?
Okay,
or what's that about?
What's that about? So Atomic Habits is based on the idea that it's just like a small incremental shift, right? It's just a small shift. Oh,
atomic like the size of an atom, not like atomic bomb.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Atomic Habits, right? Okay, and so it's about and that's what it's about. It's about just shifting your mindset to know like the one small change, 1%, 1% is what gets you there. Because I was thinking on the way out here that everybody knows they need to be contacting businesses on a regular basis or contacting influencers on a regular basis, and not in some. Just like in a very boring, methodical way, like just send it out every week. And the traffic, that's what's going to get them the business they want. So if everybody knows that, like, why aren't we doing it? Like, why aren't they doing it, right? And it
got me.
Yeah. So if you know what you need to do and you're not doing it and you find yourself being busy in your business, making your website look prettier, well, who cares if nobody's coming? Are you feeling called out again? Sorry.
Yes.
But
it's like when the preacher's preaching and it's like, that's for me.
right.
Yeah, you're cutting me good today, man.
So I was thinking about that book and I thought that would be great. So the mindset stuff that we do is we talk about what could be keeping you from getting where you need to get, and then let's do implementation. Right.
So good.
So I'll be like, okay, like be ready today on the call. Like, here's your worksheet and we're going to do this together. Okay. Now, go look right now and go and find 5 business phone numbers that you're going to call, like write them down right now, so and then the mindset is just talking about what would keep you from doing that.
I love that. What industry that's really popular. And I know, cause before HeatPress Nation, I was in the real estate industry. I would do real estate marketing, like graphic design and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by these real estate agents. They would pay, there's the big one, I think it's like Tom Ferry or one of the Ferry brothers or father-son combo, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And they would pay like so much money for coaching. And so since I would sit in the office with them, I'd overhear their coaching calls. And it's funny because at first I would think, wait, he's just telling you to do your job. Right. And I didn't understand it at first until here I am. I'm running my own business and I suck at it. And I'm like, I kind of need someone to tell me to do it. Because you need that encouragement. Because sometimes it's not enough to just sit there and know what to do. It's just and that's why I love what you're saying about implementation is, you can have it all up here. You could watch all the YouTube videos and listen to all these amazing podcasts. And a lot of good it does if you're not
going to take the action.
Exactly.
We don't trust the action. We don't trust the process, and we don't trust ourselves. I have this new thing where I'm like, look, like you trust the washing machine. Like you know if your clothes are dirty and you put them in the washing machine and then you get them out and put them in a dryer, eventually you're going to have clean clothes, right? If you wash them and there's a pin in the pocket and it busts and their clothes are ruined, you're not like, well, great, I'm never going to wash clothes again. That didn't work. Because it works, right? Or if you put them in the washer and then you never put them in the dryer, they're going to smell bad. And again, you didn't finish the process. But when it comes to these marketing strategies and implementing things in your business, we don't trust it. We don't know it inside our heart like we do the washing machine.
Wow, that's so good. I've never heard it put that way, and I feel like you just like unlocked something for me right now that I'm like,
boom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely having a light bulb aha moment right now.
That's so cool. I'm so excited.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, and we talk a lot about that like you've just got, and that's what trust the process means. It's like you don't know what reaching out to 5 businesses a week is going to unlock for your business. You don't trust it yet. You don't know it, but just know that other people are doing it that you trust. And so do it.
So you're running Merch by Mae. You're running Graphic Tee Academy. What else am I missing? What else you got going on?
So we have some other family brands.
Okay, nice.
That we sell retail and wholesale, and I think that's about covered it.
Yeah,
I think that's about covered it.
How is it managing all these different? Do you consider these like you're managing 10 different things, or is it like these 10 different things happen to be one thing? Like how do you manage that mentally? Or really?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm learning as I'm getting more systems in place, I'm realizing more that I've lied to myself, that they are very much different things. They're not the same thing. And so it's just as we grow, I'm getting systems in place and learning like what I enjoy the most, and that's what we'll say. That's what will survive.
Got it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Man, I know there's so much more to the story. We're going to have to get you back for part 2 because I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface. But there's been so much value in what you've shared today. So much inspiration, honestly. And I know if I'm feeling inspired, like to me, I feel like I'm an average Joe. So if I'm feeling inspired today, I know someone out there is also feeling inspired by your story and by what you shared with us. So I want to thank you so much. But before we let you go, I got 2 things.
Okay.
I always like to close with this question. If you can go back in time to right before you started your business, maybe when you're in the exploring phase, what am I going to do? You're Googling, you're looking around, and give yourself some advice. Go to Mae of the past. Give her some advice right before she starts Merch by Mae. What are you telling her?
Okay. 1, the first piece of equipment that you should start with is a really good heat press.
Nice. Okay.
2, learn about different printing styles before you start investing in lots of things.
That's good.
Like just learn and test. Learn and test.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And then finally, where can everybody find you if they want to go? If they want to join Graphic Tee Academy or order something for Merch by Mae? Where are we sending them?
Awesome. Okay, so everybody should check out the YouTube channel. Merch by Mae.
Merch by Mae.
Merch by Mae. And then maecee.com, MAECEE.com. That will get you a link to find out more about Graphic Tee Academy or to order merch or any of those things.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Mae, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me today. I feel blessed after this conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Let's go grab some lunch.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Customizing Culture. This is the Heat Press Nation podcast. My name's Jared. This has been Mae, and I hope you guys have a very good day. We'll see you.
Bye.